Hey guys, my name is Samantha. Welcome to the Minimalist Millennial. That's what I'm going to call this channel. And if that name is taken, which I'm pretty sure it is because it's such a good name, then I'm going to call this something else. But for now, that's what we'll call it. So right now, I'm living in Vancouver. Vancouver has just joined the collection of cities making decisive moves towards living zero waste by banning lots of single-use items, including but not limited to straws, styrofoam cups, and containers. The city has declared a goal to be fully zero waste by 2040, and assuming the planet's still around by then, I'm thinking this will be a good step in the right direction. Personally, I've been trying to live as zero waste as possible for the past maybe 2 or 3 years, but I'm really starting to give it a head start, a kick in the butt, and I'm going to do it properly. So I thought I would take you guys on this journey with me. Today's video, as you might have seen, is called It's in the Bag, and we're going to be talking about one of the quickest changes you can make to be zero waste in your life. And that's just to stop getting plastic bags. They're the ultimate item of convenience and the easiest one to get rid of. All it takes is a little bit of extra planning, a little bit of foresight, and you can just stop getting them. At this point in my life, I've got a bag of plastic bags that I use to line trash bins. By the end of this journey, I would not like to need a trash bin. So I figured if I get rid of the plastic bags, that puts a timer on that. Because then when I no longer have any more plastic bags, I don't need to be making any more trash. And hopefully, as this continues, I'll be making less and less. The latest law that has been passed is that by 2019, it's going to be practically illegal or very difficult to get single-use plastic items like straws and containers and foam cups and things like that. I mean, we'll be able to buy it for personal use, but companies won't be allowed to give those out. And I think that's like a step in the right direction. Right now, we can easily switch out all the plastic straws for paper straws. I think they're just as good. Disney Animal Kingdom uses them, so we can use them. There are, however, other areas in the world where plastic bags are practically illegal. So some places like Paris, I think, made the news by banning plastic bags and other single-use cutlery. Prince Edward Island in Canada has also done similarly, and I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of other ones. So what's the point? What's the big hype? Why do we need to get rid of plastic bags in the first place? Well, most recently, again, a turtle in Thailand was just autopsied because it died. Brought it into the vet and they were trying to heal it and make it healthy again, but it died. And so they did an autopsy and they found its stomach was full of plastic straws and rubber bands and plastic bags because they eat it because they don't know better. And I mean, it's clear that plastic's a problem. It's quite obvious at this point. There's at least one article a week on it. So how do we nip it in the bud? How do we solve this problem? And to that, I think, and a lot of other really important prominent advocates are saying that we need to ask the question first, why there's so much plastic in the first place. Why is there a product that is so hard to compose and so bad for the environment? Why is it everywhere? Why hasn't it been outlawed earlier? And it's extremely simple. It's convenient. It's supposedly clean, and it's incredibly cheap to make. We've been using plastic not to the level that we are using it, but it kind of came into being a big deal in the 1950s. Since then, we have made 8.3 billion tons of plastic. Now, if we want to solve this problem by recycling, the time has passed. Since recycling has been a thing, only 9% of that 8.3 billion tons of plastic has been recycled. Whereas the rest, it's either in the oceans or in a landfill, and either way it's bad for us. I had a really kind of nonchalant view of landfills in the past where I was just okay, if we put plastic where we mined before and then we put grass on top, it'll be fine. But as it decomposes, it actually creates toxins, and then that leaches into the ocean and the rivers. So we've got to stop or slow the creation of plastic in the first place. Recycling isn't going to do it. And until we find out a way to turn this plastic back into energy that is used widespread, I mean, it's enough for it to exist, but it has to be used on a widespread level. We've just got to stop creating plastic, and obviously you and I don't have the ability to make that kind of decision. We can't just roll up to the Coca-Cola office and be like, hey, how about glass? And they'll be like, oh my god, what? So how do we stop plastic from being made? And a lot of people will tell you that it's very simple, and you just vote with your dollar and you just don't buy things that are packaged in plastic. But if you try to do that, it's so hard because it's so convenient and it's everywhere, and it's a part of our culture at this point. I was reading about the amount of bags per capita per year. So per person per year, it's different in every country depending on the culture of the country. For example, in countries like Japan, it is considered a bit disrespectful to not bag each item separately. And so they use a lot more plastic. So it's really to address the fact that whatever you're using it, wherever you're using it, it's not necessary. It's only been around for a little bit over 50 years. We've been doing fine before it. So it's not completely necessary. So why are we doing it? Because it's convenient, and because it's in our culture at this point. We are so culturally ingrained to just accept it, not even to notice that it's a problem. If I showed you around my room right now, there are, within my vision right now, I can tell you there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items of plastic. Now most of them are holding cosmetics because I put the camera on my makeup table, but I honestly never thought about it up until that point. So it's pretty much in our culture. The simple solution is just to make small changes here and there. It's not sustainable or realistic to expect anybody to go zero waste overnight. That is something that's going to cost time, and it's going to cost money, and it's an investment of your energy. So we're going to get started on the least of all of those things, the least time, least money, least energy thing that you can do to change and get a little bit more plastic, a little bit less waste in your life. And that is the plastic bag. It is probably the height of single-use convenience because it helps you to buy things when you weren't even planning to buy things. If you think about it, if you vowed not to ever get a plastic bag again, and you didn't always have a reusable bag on you, there are a lot of times when you would just not buy things because you couldn't. And that's literally why it's so ingrained. Since I have taken it out of my life, I bought this stuff. I've thought more about my purchases. So I thought I'd discuss the alternatives to plastic bags, and then you guys can make an educated decision on your own. I've done the research for you guys. All you have to do is watch this video, look at your facts, your stats, and then decide what it is you want to do to move forward. So assuming for every 5 plastic bags that you get, you are producing about 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas, which is fueling climate change. If you consider that alone, not the recycling costs or the amount of time it's going to take to break down in a landfill and the fact that it's going to pollute and create toxins when it does that, but if we break it down to the greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide, you've got 1 kilogram for every 5 bags. So what can you use instead? Most people, you'll hear the cashier go paper or plastic. You want to make a change, you'll just pick paper. And that's a well thought out decision. But paper bags take a lot more energy to create than plastic. In most cases, a paper bag takes a lot more energy to create than a plastic bag. So if you're looking at just the basic impact to create that item, you're going up. It is obviously a lot easier to compost, to break down, so it's a long-term environmental impact is a lot less. But in terms of the effort that went into creating it, you're looking at similar, or if not higher, energy expenditures and amount of greenhouse gas going into our ozone layer. And if you believe in the hole in the ozone layer, that's a problem. If you are really looking to skip the bag, you're going to want to look at reusable bags, of which there are 3 main types. The first reusable bag to really hit the market, make a change, is the canvas bag, which is usually made from cotton. Usually has this color, maybe some detail. Got this one at Walmart for like $2, and that requires a significant amount of water to produce. You're also looking at chemicals that are usually gone into treating it, and you're looking at an environmental impact almost directly proportional to the weight of the bag. Your second option would be to look for a polyester bag. Those usually come, I've got one right here, it's about the size of a shopping bag. This one's pretty cool. It comes in a little pouch that I can keep in my purse. Alternatively, there are lots of brands that make them. There's a good brand known as the Chico bag that makes them from recycled soda bottles, not polyester, but they make polyester bags. They also make the ones from recycled soda bottles. Pretty good. Chico's got those little clip-on things, so you can like clip it in and then it stays like handheld, and then yeah, it's cool. That's a better option than canvas bag. It's got a 1:2 rather than a 1:1 ratio of weight of bag to the amount of greenhouse gas it produces to make. And obviously you're not throwing that into the compost because you're going to use it again. The other option would be the polypropylene. There's one. This one's really massive, but they're shaped like the brown paper bag. So these are the ones that, you know, fold out and you can fold it back up, and they kind of have like a waxy finish, not really clothy kind of. That one's got a roughly 1 to 1.3 ratio of the weight to the GHG, so you're still looking at better than canvas bag. Ultimately, no matter what you pick, it's better than the plastic bag. One thing that's being stressed lately is whatever you pick, to use it. A lot of people they've been noticing that people will just buy the reusable bag at the checkout like every time, which is indeed worse. You only need a handful. You can usually get them for free. If you shop at a thrift store, you'll definitely get some, depending on the thrift store. The only one I have that I bought is this one, and I really liked it, and I actually bought it as a beach bag. My mom gave me this one, which is actually really nifty, and I think if you're gonna buy one, definitely buy one of the ones that kind of like it all goes into the little pouch. And so I always have this on me in case I need a convenience, spontaneous buy something. That is the breakdown of plastic bags. In my opinion, the best reusable bag is the one that you already have. Chances, if you are an adult living anywhere, you probably have a backpack. I use my backpack every time I go grocery shopping. I just go with it empty and I fill it up. It helps with the weight, it helps with everything. On top of that, you can get reusable bags literally anywhere and everywhere. They're all over the place right now. And it doesn't have to be one of these types. It can literally be any kind of bag. It can be a tote or a duffel or anything. I'm pretty sure that they'll let it fly at the grocery store or wherever you're buying stuff. Just make sure that it's either one you already have or one you continue to use after you buy it. Be sure to comment, share, and like this video if you liked it. And let me know what I should tackle next. I'm looking to change one thing per week in my life. So it's a slow and steady change that I can keep up. Is there anything that you've been having a hard time figuring out how to get rid of in your life? I'll do the research, figure it all out, and I can do a video on it. If you have any questions, any concerns, any uncertainties, or even if you just want to chat about this kind of scary thing, if you're going against something you've been taught your entire life, it is going to be scary. But that's the point.